Hey, it's Dan here. So basically, I'm going to do this video on NVIDIA and kind of like just some due diligence on the past year and what I think is going to happen with NVIDIA over the next year and the next few years, based on things that the company was talking about in the earnings call, and some of the other things that they're getting into, and why I think that it's going even higher. It might just take some time. We might have a market pullback or correction, but Nvidia is trading around 27, 28 times forward price to earnings. I think that might even be lower than that. I think guidance has been sandbagged. I think here's what we know. I'll just go into this. Here's what we know. What we know is this. Okay. We know that NVIDIA has beat earnings the last 4 quarters in a row. And not by like a little bit, like by like 2 billion each time. And so if we're thinking about like the runway and how everything's going to work and how they're going to be able to scale, and as soon as TSMC finishes those fabs in Arizona, I know that they're only going to be able to make the bigger chips. I believe that in time there's going to be subsidies to help Taiwan Semiconductor be able to afford to produce the smaller chips in the U.S. Namely because China, Taiwan, South Korea, North Korea tensions. Okay, all right. For the U.S. to be successful, if a war does break out and China does take over Taiwan, which, could happen, could not happen. China's in a really economically weak state right now. Okay. And if you've ever read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, one of the things it talks about in The Art of War, Sun Tzu says, if you are economically weak, do not pursue war. You're almost sure to lose. Why? Well, essentially because if you can't afford to provide ammunition, to feed your soldiers, to pay your soldiers, how will those soldiers perform for you? Would they just not fight if they can't eat? You know what I mean? And so if China can't provide economic stability for a war, and we all know that war costs a lot of money, all right? So they can't provide economic stability for the war, fuel costs, ammunition costs, all these other small intricacies that goes into the cost of fighting war. This is where I'm at. So at this moment in time, I don't think that's a very realistic, thought. Essentially, because are you going to go into a battle with a very exceptionally strong opponent when you're at your weakest? No, you are not, right? And whether or not, the U.S. is in their strongest position at the same time, we have to understand that you go into war or you go into a fight when you have the upper hand, when you are certain you have the upper hand, when you are 100% sure you're going to win, or in your mind you're 100% sure you're going to win. In which case, when you're looking at yourself and you're kind of evaluating the situation, Xi Jinping over here is thinking, we're in economic peril right now. We can't afford to try to take Taiwan at this moment in time. So for the moment, I think, NVIDIA is safe and Taiwan Semiconductor is safe from that possible, thing happening here. So I want to go through NVIDIA's accelerated computing platform. Their full stack of now we're going to get into NVIDIA. Their full stack innovation across silicon, systems, and software. So this is their AI application framework. They got the modules. I'm not even sure what Manai is. I'm going to have to do a lot of reading on this. Riva, Maxine, I'm guessing these Manai are all like LLMs. That's what it looks like to me. You know, they're in all kinds of stuff. You know, NVIDIA Omniverse, AI, NVIDIA HPC. You know, if you really don't pay attention, this channel is essentially for me to do more learning as I go along. All right. So, and this is kind of like my idea of sharing with others how I'm learning so they can go in and do their own learning, because I know a lot of people who are investing, they aren't paying attention as much as they should. I'll be back in literally 2 seconds. Let me pause this real quick. All right, so I'm back. I have these two books, all right, if you can see that. Peter Lynch, you know, what's this? Beating the Street by Peter Lynch, and then One Up on Wall Street, okay? If you sit down and you take time to read these books, you'll understand why you need to go through everything on a company to understand where it's going, why it's going there, and how it's going to achieve that. How to value it, how to properly value it and its growth, to understand, is this growth sustainable or not? And if we look at Jensen Huang, when he talks about the $1 trillion spend over the next 3 to 5 years in AI, you know that nobody's really competing with NVIDIA. You can make the argument for AMD's new IMX chip and its ability to you know, out-accelerate, compute, whatever, NVIDIA's H100 or the Tensor 100. But NVIDIA is coming with the H200 real soon. Real soon, all right? We have to understand this. We have to understand this because, you know, we have to understand this because that's going to render, I wouldn't say it would render the H100 and the IMX obsolete, but it will render them, how do I say this? It'll render them sort of ancient technology in the sense that they will not be able to do nowhere near as much or have nowhere near the capability of compute inference as the H200 will have. And NVIDIA is going to continue being ahead, and you always go with the first movers who are always ahead because they're already in. All these other companies, they're chasing. NVIDIA, while the top spot is always the hardest to keep, NVIDIA is ahead. It's like if you're 5 laps ahead and you're gunning it the whole entire time, there's no way the competition can catch you, especially when you already have a foundation built. You know what I mean? So I'm going to read this off to you. With nearly 3 decades of singular focus, NVIDIA is expert at NVIDIA is expert at accelerating software and scaling compute by 1,000,000x, going well beyond Moore's law. Accelerated computing requires full-stack innovation, optimizing across every layer of computing, from silicon and systems to software and algorithms, demanding deep understanding of the problem domain. Our full-stack platforms, NVIDIA HPC, NVIDIA AI, and NVIDIA Omniverse, accelerate high-performance computing, AI, and industrial digitalization workloads. We accelerate workloads at data center scale across thousands of compute nodes. Treating the network and storage as part of the computing fabric. Our platform extends from the cloud and enterprise data centers to supercomputing centers, edge computing, and PCs. I'm going to move on down to the next slide. What is accelerated computing? Let's just go through and let's just learn, right? A full stack approach, silicon software, or a full stack approach, silicon system software. Not just a super fast chip. Accelerated computing is a full stack combination of chips with specialized processors, algorithms and accelerated libraries, domain experts to refactor applications to speed up compute-intensive parts of an application. All right. Amdahl's law. Okay, the overall system speed up S gained by optimizing a single part of a system by a factor, which is S, is limited by the proportion of execution time of that part, which is P. So here you go. You have S equals 1 over 1 minus P plus P over S. Right? For example, if 90% of the runtime can be accelerated by 100 times, the application is sped up 9 times. If 99% of the runtime can be accelerated by 100 times, the application is speed up 50 times. If 80% of the runtime can be accelerated by 500 times or even 1,000 times, the application is sped up 5 times. Let's go to the next slide. Oops, passed one up. Why accelerated computing? Advanced computing in the post-Moore's Law era, accelerated computing is needed to tackle the most impactful opportunities of our time, like AI, climate simulation, drug discovery, ray tracing, and robotics. Which, by the way, I'm going to say it again, Symbotic. Symbotic is going to be Symbotic and Tesla, but there are other companies involved here, but Symbotic and Tesla are the farthest ahead. Whereas Optimus, they've been working on it. It does things. At Tesla, I'm telling you, they're the future in that area. And Symbotic is going to automate warehousing across the world. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to grab the whole market, but I am saying that they are the first mover. They're the first actual mover with actual massive investors, Walmart being one of them. Symbotic had a $10 million share equity purchase from a large investor last week. Now, 10 million shares, so they're taking out a huge chunk at $40. So 10 million, that's 400 million. So this big investor came in with 400 million and put more money into Symbotic. What's that going to help Symbotic do? It's going to help Symbotic scale to profitability, to be able to take on more customers, to be able to move forward with their business. Not only are they growing at an incredible rate right now, Symbotic is, but imagine that accelerated. Imagine, they can continue build out and scale and get better, right? And so that's what I want to talk about there with that robotics, and everybody's sleeping on Symbotic. If you're hearing it from me, I might be wrong, but at $40, I'm almost sure Symbotic is going to be a double up. But this is about NVIDIA and not Symbotic. I'm a little bit passionate. I can understand it. All right, but I want to put myself in the best position, the best understanding of where to put my money. So when the money comes, think about that. What is that big investor just put $400 million into that company? That signifies huge conviction. Walmart just exercised $100 million something in warrants on Symbotic. That represents huge conviction of growth and a return on investment. When you see big players like that coming in with big money like that, positioning themselves in a position, they're positioning themselves in a position before the freaking thing takes off, right? You have to understand. There's a saying, follow the money. I want to improve that and say follow the early money, because before long, people are going to find out about Symbotic and it's going to go boom, boom. It's going to go boom, boom like the market did the day after freaking NVIDIA's earnings, right? Okay, so NVIDIA is uniquely dedicated to accelerated computing, working top to bottom, refactoring applications and creating new algorithms, and bottom to top inventing new specialized processors like RT Core and Tensor Core. It's the end of Moore's Law as we know it. John Hennessy, October 23rd, 2018. I don't know who that guy is. Maybe I'll look him up. Moore's Law is dead. Jensen Huang, GTC 2013. You know what? I want to figure out what Moore's Law is. I think I'm going to do that right after this video. I don't really know what Moore's law is. I might as well figure it out and learn it, right? Okay, so trillions of operations per second, TOPS, they call it TOPS. So single thread CPU perf, pretty good. GPU computing perf, boom. Look at that. 1,000 times in 10 years. Think of what it's going to be in another 10 years. And guess who's going to be the benefactor? How you guessed it. NVIDIA, AI companies, robotics, the benefactor. All right, waves of adoption of accelerated computing, a generational computing platform shift. Okay, so this is probably cloud service providers and consumer internet. That's going to be your late 2000s, 2008, 2009, early 2010 era, 2011, 2012, into the enterprise, autonomous vehicles and robotics. This is going to be what's going on right now. Moving into industrial digitalization. There we go. Slowed it down for you and me. Okay. And that's what we're moving into this stage right here, right now. Industrial digitalization. Okay. A new computing era has begun. And literally they're saying a new computing era has begun because this simply has just started. Think about like when the tech bubble happened and all these internet companies came in and a lot failed. I'm not saying that the AI is a bubble. It's actually creating real revenue and it's actually creating real profit growth in a lot of companies. So we have to understand this. All right, we have to understand that. So this is not like the tech bubble, but let's go back to the tech bubble and let's understand that the tech bubble ushered in a new era, and that is the internet. And look at how it has grown over the course of 2.5 decades, really, because the internet came, let's call it 3. The internet came in the late 90s. It isn't quite 3 decades since the internet was kind of introduced. Not, mainstream internet, right? Okay. Because everything with internet really started happening in the very late 90s into the early 2000s. But what do you think could happen with AI especially since the computing is so much more accelerated and it's, eroding general purpose computing? All right, so I want to read some more. Come on. Accelerated computing enabled the rise of AI, which is driving a platform shift from general purpose to accelerated computing and enabling new, never before possible applications. The $1 trillion of installed global data center infrastructure will transition to accelerated computing to achieve better performance, energy efficiency, and cost by an order of magnitude. Hyperscale cloud service providers and consumer internet companies have been the early adopters of AI and accelerated computing, with broader enterprise adoption now underway. AI and accelerated computing will also make possible the next big waves: autonomous machines and industrial digitalization. It's going to be huge. And if you're not along for the ride, if you're not in the right companies where the money's going, you're going to miss out. And don't be the one that misses out. Don't be the one that's afraid to miss out. I'm not saying like throw everything in NVIDIA. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. Oh yeah, I want to, if you're this far, please like and subscribe if you want more content. I'm going to continue with this. I'm not going to stop. I'm really going to work hard at this. Like I read books like crazy. I got a book I'm reading right now that I'm learning a lot from is Man for All Markets by Edward O. Thorpe. Incredible book. Just like Mastering the Market Cycle. I'm going to just go through all these books all year long. I'm just going to read books. I'm going to read books on this stuff because I want to be the best that I can be and provide the best information for other people and insight in the way to think about these things. I just want people to be positioned. You know what I mean? So NVIDIA accelerated computing for every wave. All right, so let's start here at the bottom with NVIDIA HGX. NVIDIA HGX is an AI supercomputing platform purpose-built for AI. It includes 8 NVIDIA GPUs as well as interconnect and networking technologies, delivering order of magnitude performance speed-ups for AI over CPU servers. It is broadly available from all major server OEMs, ODMs, NVIDIA DGX, and AI server based on the same architecture, along with NVIDIA AI software and support is also available. NVIDIA AI Enterprise is the operating system of AI. With enterprise-grade security, stability, manageability, and support, it is available on all major CSPs and server OEMs and supports enterprise deployment of AI production. NVIDIA DGX Cloud is a cloud service that allows enterprises immediate access to the infrastructure and software needed to train advanced models for generative AI and other groundbreaking applications. Let me tell you something about that, DGX Cloud. So NVIDIA has put their DGX Cloud in and connected to their AI infrastructure, which is why this is so much more important to understand that NVIDIA is smashing AMD. Because these companies have to use the DGX Cloud in order to build their AI models and their LLMs, right? And if we understand how big that's going to be of a business for NVIDIA, as more and more companies adopt, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be huge. This is genius to have done. And who is in the best position to understand how to use the hardware the best? Oh, the company that created and designed it. Oh, that's NVIDIA, isn't it? So NVIDIA Drive is a full-stack platform for autonomous vehicles, AV, that includes hardware for in-car compute, such as the Orion system on chip and the full AV and AI cockpit software stack. If you don't think that Tesla's not going to have this FSD, and every other company is going to be tagging along, because guess who has the data? Tesla. Guess who's been working on it? Tesla. Guess who has not been working on it? Not other companies. Tesla is going to smash. People are sleeping on this. They're going to sleep on it until it happens, just like with NVIDIA. And if I was paying more attention a year and a half ago, I would have freaking known, but I wasn't. Because I wasn't thinking, I didn't read this book yet. I wasn't reading that book yet. I wasn't reading all the other books that I've read on investing. And so I didn't quite get the understanding, but now I'm kind of really understanding. I'm really digging in deep, and I'm kind of like, this is that moment, that aha moment, for me. Okay, NVIDIA Omniverse is a software platform for designing, building, and operating 3D and virtual world simulations. It harnesses the power of NVIDIA graphics and AI technology and runs on NVIDIA-powered data centers and workstations. All right, let's move to the next slide. I know this video is taking forever. I might make a second video on this. But I'm so glad I started this YouTube channel. I'm going to freaking dig in so hard just so I can provide the best, absolutely best insights that I can give to other people so they can have a better idea on what to do. All right, so NVIDIA's accelerated computing ecosystem. So their developers went from 1.8 million in 2020 to 4.7 in 2023. Their CUDA downloads went from 20 million in 2020 to over double up in 3 years to 48 million. AI startups, 6,000 to 15,000. Who's the only company they're using the chips for? I mean, AMD literally had maybe 2 billion in data center this entire year. Whereas Nvidia was over 46 million or 46 billion. Think about that. That's a 23x NVIDIA to AMD. I don't even know where Intel is on this game. You know what? I ought to go look. I'm going to look. After this video, I'm going to go look. GPU accelerated applications from 700 to 3200 in the same course of time, 2020 to 2023. The NVIDIA accelerated computing platform has attracted the largest ecosystem of developers. supporting a rapidly growing universe of applications and industry innovation. Developers can engage with NVIDIA through CUDA, our parallel computing program model introduced in 2006, or at higher layers of the stack, including libraries, pre-trained AI models, SDKs, and other development tools. 300 libraries and 600 AI models, 100 updated in the last year. Gonna be more. Just wait. Give it 2026. Give it 2026. We'll see where these numbers are in 2026 or at the end of this coming year. Let's go down one. So NVIDIA's multi-sided platform and flywheel. Okay, so it's going to start with install base, go to the developers and users. Well, I guess it might start to cloud OEMs and then run to the scale R&D, speed up, and back to the developers and install base to the end users. And the end users are going to be, your companies that are going to be using software and so forth to create whatever they need to create in order to drive profitability in their companies. The virtuous cycle of NVIDIA's accelerated computing starts with an install base of several 100 million GPUs, all compatible with the CUDA programming model. For developers, NVIDIA's one architecture and large install base gives developers I'll start that over. For developers, NVIDIA's one architecture and large install base gives developers software the best performance and greatest reach. For end users, NVIDIA is offered by virtually every computing provider and accelerates the most impactful applications from cloud to edge. For cloud providers and OEMs, NVIDIA's rich suite of For cloud providers and OEMs, NVIDIA's rich suite of acceleration platforms lets partners build one offering to address large markets, including media and entertainment, healthcare, transportation, energy, financial services, manufacturing, retail, and more. For NVIDIA, deep engagement with developers, computing providers, and customers in diverse industry enables unmatched expertise, scale, and speed of innovation across the entire accelerated computing stack, propelling the flywheel. All right, let's go. So huge ROI, or huge return on investment from AI driving a powerful new investment cycle. AI can augment creativity and productivity by orders of magnitude across industries. Now that I see this car here, I'm starting to understand the quality of design is going to be better on almost everything we build now, or these companies that are going to adopt this build. I'm not so sure I want AI to have anything to do with agri-food, climate. Not at all. Get that out of there. I don't like it. But they're going to push it anyways, right? This is why I might be a bit of a conspiracy theorist right here, right now. But this is why I want to grow my own food and have my own freaking farm. This is why I'm working so hard. This is why I do whatever I can to get wherever I'm going, because I don't want to be subject to what they're trying to push on us. I just want to do the research and put my money where it's going to grow the fastest and the best. In which case, I'm going to do this and I'm going to try to build as much as possible so I can get from underneath the big thumb of Big Brother, who ain't really a brother, but is big. More like, big bully. We'll just call the U.S. government and world governments big bullies. I could say some very mean things, but, I want this to hit the algorithm. Knowledge workers will use copilots based on large language models to generate documents, answer questions, or summarize missed meetings, emails, and chats, adding hours of productivity per week. Copilots specialized for fields such as software development, legal services, or education can boost productivity by as much as 50%. Social media, search, and e-commerce apps are using deep recommenders to offer more relevant content and ads to their customers, increasing engagement and monetization. Creators can generate stunning photorealistic images with a single text prompt. compressing workflows that take days or weeks into minutes. Hold up. Compressing workflows that take days or weeks into minutes in industries from advertising to game development. Hold up. I'm going to read that again. So I can download this into my brain, the realistic. I have to understand this a little better. Maybe other people might want to. Creators can generate stunning photorealistic images with a single text prompt. Compressing workflows that take days or weeks into minutes in industries from advertising to game development. I don't know if I like that photorealistic thing. Oh, oops. There we go. Now, the thing where it takes the workflows that takes days or weeks and turns it into minutes, that's crazy. That's crazy. Call centers, agents augmented with AI chatbots can dramatically increase productivity and customer satisfaction. No, they can't. I'm gonna call absolute bull BS on this. How many times have you called the call center and said, I want to speak to a human, maybe not a call center, but you needed to talk to you call the 1-800 number for, let's say it's your cable. All right. And you called and you can't get a freaking person. Or you need to go to a certain doctor's office and you can't get a freaking person. And you're on there and you're like, I want to talk to a human being. Why? Because these AI things, as great as they may be, they can't answer your every question. You have questions about this or that. Does it take my insurance? Can we find this out before I show up? And then I'm told it doesn't take my insurance, this and that. So that is stupid. I don't like that at all. I think that's absolute BS. I'm calling it BS. It does not increase customer satisfaction. No way, no how. I will never, ever be more satisfied with some freaking drone robot on the other end of the line than I would if there was a human that I could actually talk to. You know what I mean? All right. Drug discovery, financial services, agriculture, and food services, and climate forecasting are seeing order of magnitude workflow acceleration from AI. Okay, I believe that. But the customer satisfaction, no way. No way are you more satisfied when you call a freaking company and you've got a complaint or an issue or you need to set up an appointment or something. You're not satisfied with that bot over a human being. Nope. Calm bull. Generative AI, the most important computing platform of our generation. The era of generative AI has arrived, unlocking new opportunities for AI across many different applications. Generative AI is trained on large amounts of data to find patterns and relationships, learning the representation of almost anything with structure. It can then be prompted to generate text, images, video, code, or even proteins. For the very first time, computers can augment the human ability to generate information and create. 1,600 plus generative AI companies are building on NVIDIA. It's going to only increase. It's only going to increase. Look how they can take that. On this, all this, that's pretty neat. Oops. There we go. Modern AI is a data center scale computing workload. All right. Before Transformers 8 times in 2 years, and then after 215 times in 2 years. Wow. Look at the acceleration difference. Look at that. Wow. And this started back in 2017? Wow. Imagine another one that's just like this. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? Jeez Louise. Anyways, large language models based on the transformer architecture are one of today's most important advanced AI technologies, involving up to trillions of parameters that learn from text. Developing them is an expensive, time-consuming process that demands deep technical expertise, distributing data center scale infrastructure and a full stack accelerated computing approach. Man, I don't know if I like this that much. I know it's the future, but man, maybe I just don't want to change like that. I don't know. Anyways, so their full stack data center scale acceleration drives significant cost savings and workload scaling. Now, this is why it's so important, because it drives huge cost savings and ability to scale. That's huge. All right. So they're, classical computing, 960 CPU only servers, application server racks. Accelerated computing, 2 GPU servers, 960 to 2, right? And the 2 GPU servers are going to be faster than that whole 960. Application re-engineered for acceleration, CUDA-X acceleration libraries, Magnum I/O. Wonder what that is. I wish you could click it and tell you about it. 25 times lower cost, 84 times better energy efficiency. If that's crazy, look at that. And that's why this is so important. You're spending so much less over here than you are here. It's so much more efficient. It's so much faster. This is why NVIDIA is crushing the game. This is why this is why the big top dogs are investing in it and buying up every single chip that they can. Wow. All right, the high ROI of high compute performance. $1 upfront investment in NVIDIA compute and networking can translate to $5 in CSP revenue over 4 years. Whoa. How many people actually have been going through this to actually understand this type of stuff? How many people do you think have bought shares in NVIDIA and actually went through this and actually read this and actually understood this and actually said, wow. You know what I mean? You're just buying NVIDIA because they're a great company and the numbers and the growth is crazy. Well, this is kind of like the idea here is to understand why, so you can have more conviction in the investments that you might make. And if you do this with every company and you value their, them relative to their forward price to earnings and other companies in their space and how they're doing things, if you can learn how to value these things and also learn as much about these companies as you possibly can, it's almost hard to lose. You know what I mean? Obviously, you don't want to buy at the top or way high. When a company gets extremely overvalued, too expensive, you just don't buy it. Eventually, the market's going to correct back. The market works in a wave. Let's say my arm is just like the median, right? And the market works in a wave. Okay? And this wave, up and down, right now we're on the upward, right? Maybe in a year or two, we pull back on NVIDIA. I think we might double up. I can't say that for sure. What I can say is NVIDIA is not trading that expensive relative to like its value, intrinsic value, if you want to call that. And intrinsic value can be relative to however somebody's valuing it in the first place. But we can know that Apple's trading at a higher forward PE than NVIDIA, and NVIDIA's growth is way higher. We also know that Apple is a bigger company that pulls in more revenue. Yes, this is true. But it doesn't have nowhere near the growth of NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, here's the thing about Apple and NVIDIA. Apple's going to sell iPhones to a good portion of the world's population. But NVIDIA is going to accelerate the computing for the entire globe. There's a difference there. You have to understand that. This video is running on a long time. Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I'll continue from the next slide on into another video tomorrow. I don't want to clog up too much time. And thanks for being a part of the journey.